Good day, Trinidad and Tobago. We are outside the Red House today dealing with the issue of the misappropriation of public funds disguised as government managing a crisis. Yesterday, the Minister of Health told the nation that the cost of housing the 33 people who were brought back from Barbados has crossed $1.5 million and is expected to go higher. To which I am asking the question, why would we spend $1.5 million renovating a racquetball center to create 33 bedrooms that will not be required after COVID-19 and coronavirus is no more? When the racquetball center goes back to being a racquetball center, we will not need those renovations. So it is literally a waste of funds. Besides that, we have a lot of hotels in Trinidad and Tobago that are currently shut all the way down. There is no use for the hotels, and the owners of those hotels would gladly welcome being able to be paid a sum to house these people, because these are not infected people. These were people who were quarantined in Barbados, who were brought here, that are being put under the same simple quarantine that the 20,000 people who were allowed into the country were told to go home on quarantine. Now we get a little more serious, no problem. I asked, $1,300 per night is what the Marriott charges. For 33 people, that is $42,900 per night. For 14 days of incubation, that is $600,000. Nothing to build, nothing to stress, $600,000. So even if the owners of the Marriott don't give us a special price, that is still less than a third of what the government has spent hanging plastic sheets to create rooms in a racquetball center that we don't need. Why are we doing racket in a racquetball center when we could have taken a little bit of money and put these people up in any of the hotels in Trinidad and Tobago at a fraction of the cost? This is why that building behind me ended up costing $500 million to renovate. I shared pictures with Trinidad and Tobago that I took of that building in 2012, inside and out. And that building was not in need of $500 million worth of renovations. The walls were sound, the foundation was sound, the roof was sound. That is the exact same building there with a coat of paint $500 million later. The same doors and the same windows were given out to a contract to somebody to scrape and paint and paid $51 million to do. We need an inquiry into the use of public funds under this government. We could start with an inquiry into the use of public funds for COVID-19 coronavirus since March 1st. Because I believe that this government has entered the realm of criminality, that the Minister of Health has been giving companies that his wife is associated with, giving companies massive contracts for overinflated prices that we do not need, cannot afford, and he cannot justify. Trinidad and Tobago has become a country where the government is trying to do as it damn well please, knowing, like many economists and financiers who are afraid to say, that the country is tottering on bankruptcy, that we are almost at the end of our financial rope. This is no longer acceptable. The fact that our entire public service is corrupt to the core is why no one has initiated any inquiry against the government. The Prime Minister, Keith Rowley, has questions to answer for his band of criminals who are using coronavirus COVID-19 as a means and a purpose to loot the Treasury. Trinidad and Tobago just saw the government make a decision to empty the jails, not for human rights reasons, because we've had people in that remand yard for 10, 15, and 20 years longer than they could have been convicted of, and the government didn't care. They didn't care about that. They're using coronavirus, COVID-19, to rush and give Aboud the ankle monitor contract. But Aboud wasn't the first person to make a bid and a proposal to the state to provide ankle monitors. In fact, Aboud knows nothing about ankle monitors. He has to go and hire people, and he has to go and source joint ventures with Israeli firm and all kind of nonsense. Stuart Young is telling the nation that Aboud himself is not going to be the ones running the catching unit for these same ankle monitors if people stray beyond the confines of the thing. And all of it is nonsense, because we've not had one single case in the jails. If you're going to be doing things, do it properly. This is the government taking Treasury funds to reward financiers and friends, and it has to stop. And the only way it is going to stop is if the state, that building, stop stunting, stop pretending to be the seat of government and function as the seat of government. The entire blasted opposition is mute because they're just as corrupt. They're in bed with the same corrupted financiers, all 41 of them inside of there, playing dance for me, dance for you. And the people of Trinidad and Tobago losing every single time. To the rest of the talking heads out there who are doing videos and giving people information, that is fine. But come straight. Because when I talk, I do a video with a Progressive Empowerment Party brand, wearing a Progressive Empowerment Party shirt. Y'all are giving people information and leading them astray, hurting them to sell them to one of those same two parties in there. Come straight now, all of you who are out there taking up airspace and time, playing you're talking about public issues and warning people. When an election come along, who you're sending them to vote for? Because if they can't vote for you, what's the point of you? And if all you're going to do is get in bed with the PNM and the UNC again, all you are doing is wasting people's time, misleading good people with your nonsense. It is better for everybody that you shut up, because if you cannot give the people an option outside of the madness that is taking place between the corrupt PNM and the corrupt UNC, then you're serving no purpose other than to herd them, corral them, and sell them back into the same corrupt system. We need a commission of inquiry into all that has taken place since this coronavirus crisis has started in this country. We need an accounting as to why Abood got 3 sole select contracts so far without as much of a tenders process. The country has been hijacked, corrupted from inside. That building represents the seat of Parliament. It is supposed to protect the people. It is supposed to steward the public's funds, not hand it to friends and financiers of the government. It is high time we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, said to them, enough. We need a better government. We cannot get that by choosing between the 2 bandit squads that have used Parliament, votes and government to enrich themselves and their friends. Trinidad and Tobago, we are running out of time.